Hi, Skila Nehemia, Sacred Erotic Self-Love, a poet, mentor, and mystic. I am your spiritual heart guide. I'm so excited to be here. This is my series on sacred erotic poetry. And boy, this is I'm very excited today. As I said in the description, I wanted to talk a bit about sacred sexuality, how it heals you, how it connects you to the divine, how sexuality in and of itself is so important to ascension, because there are so many layers to ascending. And if those of you who are new to this, what is ascension? It's really connecting into the infinite oneness. It's seeing, really love in your heart. It's letting go of a lot of the challenges that you've been facing and realizing that that was just a frame. It's like a reframing of your life. For those of you who are in the ascension path, you understand, or maybe I'd love to hear what you have to say. But that's what it's been for me. It's a reframing, understanding that my soul was brought here to do certain things, and I had to experience certain challenges in order to really see that it was the lens that I was looking through. It's a generational and words my parents were saying, things like that that had affected my life, limited beliefs that I had. And as soon as I tore off the veils, the many veils, the unfolding, it was just, that we are infinite being with infinite possibilities. So what I'm going to do today, I'm very excited. I'm going to be reading Rumi. If any of you know Rumi is he was a Sufi poet, and about I think over 800 years ago he wrote, which I think is now modern day Turkey or Persia. It's in that neighborhood, and if he's a master of love. In the words that he writes, and they've been translated obviously, but in all languages, it just sounds completely amazing. So I'm going to share a poem of his, and I found actually this other poet, and I didn't know who he was. I'm enamored by poetry. I'm going to share 3 poems with you today. So a poem by Rumi, and he connected to this person called Shams Tabrizi, and they had a very spiritual connection for 3 years. And I happened to find him. I didn't know who he was. And I started to look up Rumi because I knew I was going to talk about him today. And they actually connected. So I was like, wow, this is so divine. I never really understood that. I didn't know where his poetry came from. But as soon as I started on my path, I found Rumi. And his words just spoke to my heart and soul. So without ado, I'll discuss a little bit more in a minute, but without ado, I'll read one poem of Rumi. Rumi's poems, some of them are very short, and these 2 are short. So the first poem by Rumi is Soul, if you will. Sorry, somehow it disappeared. Okay. Soul, if you want to learn secrets, your heart must forget about shame and dignity. You are God's lover, yet you worry what people are saying. Sorry about that. Slight disturbance there. So I'll just read the poem one more time. Well, if you heard the poem, he talks about shame. And he talks that we are God's lover. Part of this whole series is about shame. It's about sex. If you think about it, many people feel shameful about it. It's hard to talk about sex. It's hard to talk about sex and sacredness. I remember thinking passion, sex. Usually put 2 different parts of the puzzle and not together. You either have passion or you have love. You're either passionate sex or, you love somebody, but it doesn't go together. Why not? Why can't sex be connected to the divine? Why can't it be an opening of your chakras, with another person and with the divine? And the only way to get there, if you follow Rumi and you read his poetry, the way to get there is this total unraveling of all of these beliefs that we have that block our heart. So I'll read his, let me see if this is a problem. I don't know why I had this issue before. I'll see if I can switch, and hopefully the camera will be there. So when everyone is trying to be something, be nothing. Range with emptiness. So that's his connection, charms to breezy. So, this whole idea of emptiness, what does it mean to be empty? To be empty is devoid of the lenses. You no longer have a lens. It's not like judgment. There's no more judgment. There's no more shame. It just is. Just think about that for a moment. You just are. Because you are, you deserve love. You deserve anything you desire. Anything. God is your connection into the oneness. I mean, if you take it there, that's what all religions talk about, right? Love. Love in its highest degree. How do we get to the love in the highest degree? When we take off all of our skins and we lay bare like we're totally naked. And yet we're completely accepted and loved by the divine, by everyone, but first and foremost ourselves. I think the hardest thing that many of us have a challenge with is accepting ourselves. Many of us have had trauma, but do you accept that? Why is it so difficult to be intimate with someone, to be really vulnerable? Some people talk to me because they know I talk about sacred sexuality, like I really enjoy sex, and I don't know how to stop myself. It's not about enjoying sex, it's about enjoying intimacy. It's about desiring more intimacy, being really close with someone and really feeling connected to them. That speaks to you, that speaks to all of us. But because of all these veils, all these beliefs, all of these social conditions, we don't feel like we're allowed to experience that in the way that we want to. And that's why Rumi really talked to me, because I finally decided, conscious relationships are the same. You're consciously deciding you want to be with somebody and some energy even. Let's just move out of the body even for a moment, where you just love a certain type of energy. That energy uplifts us, it makes us grow, it takes us to heights that we never thought possible. But everything's possible. Everything is possible. And when I started reading him, I was like, oh my God, everything's possible. Like, that's amazing. I'm going to read another poem. I'm actually going to try to find it on my phone because I don't want the camera to lose connection. Though what I wanted to share while I'm looking for this is that it's so important to connect. I'd love for you, anyone who has a question, to ask if you have any, because I understand this is such an intimate topic. And it's very hard to share, though the more that you could tap into that energy of yours, the more that you get to feel this unlimited pleasure and joy. You get to define your experiences just because you want to, because it's your soul's desire to have it. So that's why it's so healing. It's necessary for the healing in order to connect to the divine. There used to be yogis in India. They're like, okay, I am not going to have any kind of physical contact. I lose all connection to having a partner. I am, connected to the divine. And that's totally cool. But I feel personally that the connection in the body to another energetic being connects me deeper into my spirituality, opens all of my chakras in ways I never thought possible. So that's what I'm here to share about the sacred sexuality, about the ascension. It's interlinked. And some of us may not want that. It's not the path for everyone. But for anyone that's resonating with me, that might be the path for you. because we resonate with someone, we like connect with somebody because their energy, their words are saying something to us that's activating us. You know, we're mirrors. So if there's something I'm saying, there's something inside of you that you'd like to share. So this next poem I'm going to read is mine, and it's called Cosmic Energies. It's one of my favorite poems, and I would just like to share that with you. Just a moment as I look for it. If you have anything you'd like to share, please do. Sorry, I thought that I could do it on my computer, but because of the camera, I don't want to lose that connection. So where is it? It is coming up. Bear with me 1 second. And as I'm looking for this, those of you that are resonating with this, here we go. Thank you for waiting. Totally appreciate it. I apologize for the delay. So this is called Cosmic Energies. And this is the way it goes. The divine warrior dances alone. The divine goddess dances in women's circles. Together, they find each other in their own sacred space, uncovering themselves bare in their oneness, each in their own way, searching for each other in themselves. Knowing the other is always there, supporting, encouraging, beckoning, empowering themselves, holding space for each other, open with extended arms, outstretched legs, twisted torsos, moving with full force, synchronized in complete unison, love emanating, creating an unstoppable fire, encircling them, cording them in a double helix, connected from the earth to the sky. I hope you liked that. I just want to say something about that particular poem. I wrote this in 2017, and I would constantly see in the sky here in Israel, in different part of Israel, these birds like in this double helix, you know, in this like amazing connected, it's like a sacred geometry, you know, it's like the DNA strands. And I was like, whoa, I mean, I had never seen this before. And what I take from these things are signs connecting to me, a message for me. Anything that's happening to us, they're not coincidences. The people we meet, the things that we see, you know, and whatever we feel about them is the truth. Because this love that we feel inside of us, when it begins to open, you begin to see things in a different light. We're no longer like just going with sunglasses that can't see the light, but we open our eyes and our hearts and all of our bodies into a different, like infinite light, where in everything there's light. And we're only seeing more of the magic and beauty that is. And we're participating in it instead of being apart from it. So, you know, I can't stress enough that the more that we give ourselves pleasure, the more that we can even have the idea that we can experience a kind of love that breaks all the rules and really connects our hearts, not only to another, but to all hearts. It's so important. And if that's something that you're desiring, like, allow yourself, permit yourself to have the experience. That's my biggest message today. Permit yourself, give yourself permission, as Brene Brown says. Give yourself permission to experience something that's so otherworldly, and yet it is your birthright. It is your birthright to have it. If this is resonating with you, definitely look at my course. It is The Words of Seduction. It's right on my website, gilanehemia.com. I have a link straight from my website. It is, you know, it's a do-it-yourself course. I am not involved. You do it at your own pace. And it goes right into self-pleasure, really connecting with yourself, healing deeply. I also create a meditation, a body wisdom meditation in there. And then it talks about expressing your desire. Because one of the hardest things for me was, as I said before, was actually talking about it. I could write poetry, like I could write until like who knows when, forever. But to actually express that, like physically with my mouth, that's where the healing happened for me. That's finding my voice and claiming my space. Like, this is how I feel was so challenging. And even expressing it to the world, what I'm doing right now, I wasn't able to do even, 6 months ago was hard for me. So because we accept, we understand that we are cosmic. We are powerful. We are God's children. We are divine. And when you accept that deep in your cells, your body recalibrates, your cells recalibrate, and you become the authentic person that you truly are. So if you're desiring a deeper dive into this, exploring the possibilities, definitely connect to this course. It is, I've put a lot of time into it. It was a year in the making, and I've, taught hundreds of people online before I started doing this kind of work. And I would really just ask you to invite you to do that if this is calling you. And I want to just say thank you for being here. Thank you, those of you. I'm so grateful for you watching. Thank you, Raj, for being here. I really am very grateful to be here and talking about it with you. And for those of you who are interested in it, I'm so happy, because this is the deeper part of Ascension. Is really connecting to our body, connecting to our sexuality, and opening up the womb space and healing it. Because when we can heal, then we can experience more joy. And who doesn't want more joy in every aspect of their life? If you had the opportunity to, what would you say? So I'm going to leave you with that question. Feel free to connect with me. There is a chat right in my website, a 15-minute free chat. If this is resonating with you, definitely schedule a call. I am here to connect with you. This is my mission, to connect more into your body, to heal and to let go, and to allow the love in to receive it and totally surrender to it, to your divine mission and purpose, to find your voice and to claim your space and reclaim your sexuality. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope this is resonating with you. I love to hear your feedback. And I want to wish you a beautiful, beautiful Thursday. Thank you. Until next Thursday. Namaste, Shanti, Shalom. Bye, guys.